All right, what's up, everybody? I'm gonna try to keep this one short, to the point. We're gonna do a weekly breakdown. So basically, I'm really looking for the dollar to be short, just based on we have this large gap filled in right here, and then also based on, let's jump down into the hourly chart. If we look at last week's price action, last Monday being the 26th. Okay, we got the midnight open here. So this was Monday right here. Go ahead and tag that. So this is the whole week's price action right here. So basically, if you use ICT, the weekly reversal model, Wednesday was the high of the week. So we have Monday. Let me go ahead and label each day. So I'm gonna use the midnight open. So if you're not familiar with the midnight open, I'll tag the ICT video. That you can learn all that stuff. Just basic ICT stuff. So each one of these lines represent the midnight open. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So basically, you want to anticipate the high of the week being set Tuesday, Wednesday. It could come in late on Thursday, but here is perfect. Wednesday we closed the market up here, and then Thursday we see a big massive sell-off, and then Friday we consolidated. So the whole weekly model, the whole setup was we ran out last week's high right here. Let's take this magnet off. So we ran out this high right here, which was last week's high. So basically, we ran out last week high Wednesday, then we trade off short. It was the last week of the month. I was kind of indicated that the dollar is losing value. So going into next week, that's what I'm gonna be looking for. Short dollar. You still want to mark your chart up like this. You want to be able to see the whole weekly. So by Tuesday, Wednesday, we want to see is the dollar making a high for the week or a low for the week. And we can see here, this was the highest point. If you look at Monday to that point right there. So this was the high of the week. The low of the week was set Monday. Ideally, we want to see this come down and take the low. Equal lows right there too. Looks like it just wanted to. We just came off a holiday week last week, and this week was kind of slow last week of the month. So probably see a lot of movement next month. We got June coming up, so we got a new monthly candle coming out. So let's go to the weekly chart. And basically, dollar's been pretty short over the last couple months, actually. So we could go to the beginning of the year. If we look at January 2025, price has been coming down for the dollar significantly since then. So we started up here at 109, now we're at 99. So we had an election, all that stuff. So we basically, I'm looking for the dollar to sell off, which in my opinion, if the dollar sells off, then we're going to see stocks sell off as well. Tariffs and all that stuff is still going on. We got a couple of agreements out there, but there's still a lot of shakiness in the market. So we'll see what happens. So basically what I'm looking at here is we got a weekly FVG that's been filled and respected. So we basically come up in there, trade into the FVG and start selling off. So last week we didn't really sell off hard like anticipated, but next week we could possibly see, looking at these lows right here to the left, possibly see that. We could see 97.5, or we could just tank. Let's see 94.6. Only way that I'll be bullish, or my opinion will change on the dollar, is we would have to take out this high right here. We have to see this 101.97 level being traded above and then used as a level of support. So I'm gonna label that 101.97. So that's gonna be my old weekly high. So basically, I'm gonna take all this other stuff off. I'll be watching it on a lower time frame. I'm just gonna keep this 101.97 level mark, just because if I'm in a lower time frame and we do start to trade above that level, basically, that I already clicked for you that, hey, this is a level that we've been looking for. So the market would literally have to go from here all the way up here, 1 week or 2 weeks or whatever. That was a weekly chart. So we're either going to short or we're going to start moving back towards this level. If we do continue to sell off, which you can see here, we had ran out that high. So I'll put this as last week's high, or last few weeks high. Let's see. Okay, that was last Thursday. So that's last Thursday's high. So that's the one we talked about. Now, what I do want to see is price trade back into this gap right here, which is an actual liquidity void, but I'm going to use it as an IOG to see if we can kind of fill that back in and then trade lower. And then we got equal lows right here. So next week's target for me, my first sell target for the dollar is 98.679. So that's going to be sell target. All right, so in the next video, I'll break down everything I'm going to be trading next week using this dollar analysis. So basically, if you short on the dollar, you're going to be long on foreign currencies. We'll look at Bitcoin, XRP, see what that's going, just a little snippet at 215. So I remember last week I bought at like 245, sold all that because I seen it selling off. And it's not really a big sell off compared to what if you've been holding for the monthly. If you've been holding for the last year, you're still up. Because last year, November, it was at 48 cents. So it's still trading up. We're going to see what it's going to do opening this week. Like I said, I use the same model. See where we at in the middle of the week. Go from there. So that's it. I'll be back with another one.